Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm here today to review some more Star Wars. Yesterday we had Andor, today we've got Tales of the Jedi, an animated series, all dropped at once, 6 episodes, and you know what, it was amazing, I loved it, I loved it. First episode were a bit ropey, but the rest of it were really, really good. It's an animated spin-off of Clone Wars and Rebels and that kind of thing. It's that animation style, created and mostly written by Dave Filoni. I think one episode was written by a couple of other people, but not directed by Dave Filoni, directed by various people. But it's really, really good. So we're going to go through it after a short intro. Right, I'm back. Before we start, don't forget, up there, we're pointed in the right direction. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the videos and all that cool stuff. And follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. It would be greatly appreciated. Right, let's get into the show. Sorry, I'm a bit itchy today. I don't know why. Maybe I've got fleas. Won't be the first time, and it won't be the last. Right, sorry it's a bit dark and dismal. I could put some lights on, but, let's have it moody. Horrible weather today in Yorkshire. It's been raining all day. I've got the TV on next to me, so I think some ancient aliens might be coming on next. So if you see George Sakalis projected onto my face, that's why. I think it's ancient aliens next. I ain't got my remote with me, never mind. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Tales of the Jedi. Right, let's get this up. Right, the first episode is called, let me double check, Life and Death, and it's about the birth of Ahsoka Tano, which is interesting, but did we really need to see that? I don't know, but as I said, it's the first episode, and to be honest, it is the weakest. It kind of bookends the series. We start off with Ahsoka, and the series ends with Ahsoka as well. The final 2 episodes are about Ahsoka. So I suppose they thought, we'll bookend the series with two Ahsoka stories. But it's still good, but it's it's the weakest of the 6. And anyway, it's called I forgot already. Life and Death. Yeah. And we see the birth of Ahsoka Tano. Don't ask me the names of all the characters, because I don't know them. Does it say? Let's have a look. Does it say the names of the characters? Oh, yes. We see Pavti is Ahsoka Tano's mother. We see her. The old lady you're looking at now is... I don't know. It doesn't say it in the list of characters that I'm looking at here. It might be available elsewhere, but never mind. So I don't know who this old lady is. She's she's a bit like the village, wise woman, shaman sort of thing. You see, there's a couple of times, by the way, we live in, it's Star Wars, we live in a galaxy with, I don't know, is it a Type 2 civilization? I don't know what it is, but the interplanetary, super advanced, they've gone to hyperspace and all that, got, energy weapons and stuff, Death Stars aplenty. But yet they seem to be a lot of people seem to live in these mud huts and stuff like that. Yet they've still got blasters and they still know about space, but they still live in mud huts. If that's what they want to do, who are we to say otherwise? Anyway, so here we see Ahsoka being born. There she is, all cute with her mother. And then as soon as she's born, her mother's taking her out on a hunting trip. They don't mess about, do they? Like I said, look after Ahsoka while I go hunting. No, she's taking her with her. I think this lady, I wish I knew her name, but I think she suspects there's something different about Ahsoka. Anyway, we'll get on with it. Right, so they go out hunting, and basically a big saber-toothed cat appears. By the way, they've killed some sort of deer-like animal. There we go. Big saber-toothed cat appears. I'm sure it's got a name in the Star Wars, what's the word? Bestiary, but I don't know what it is. It reminds me of actually something. My son's into monsters and things, and is like something from Monster Hunter or some game like that. But anyway, I don't know what it's called. But it's a big saber-toothed cat, and I forgot her name already. Pav T. Pav T tries to frighten it away, and she does startle it slightly, where she just goes roars at it. But then they have a fight, and it's going to kill. I think it's take one too far. It's going to kill Ahsoka. But then the villagers arrive because she's fired a shot, and they've heard the blaster shot, and the villagers arrive, and the beast it picks up Ahsoka because it just eat her, innit? Because it could swallow her down in one gulp. I mean, look at that. It picks her up. There you go. Picks her up gently and disappears off into the forest with her. But luckily, as we know, Ahsoka Tano, super powerful Jedi. And she can control animals, a bit like Ezra Bridger were like that, wasn't he, in Rebels? And it's been argued that Anakin were like that. He kind of soothed the reek, didn't he, before he jumped on it in Attack of the Clones. But I wouldn't say that's controlling animals. But she's more like Ezra Bridger, I suppose. Anyway, they're all worrying about her back at the village, but she comes riding in. There she comes riding in on the beast, and there you go. And everything's lovely, and she's back safe. They don't kill it. They kind of share a glance, and that's it. That's the end. And the old woman says she is Jedi. That's her saying that she is Jedi. And I must admit, I was eating a sandwich at the time, and like when something affects you. It's sort of amplified when you're eating. So as soon as she said she is Jedi, I was eating my sandwich and I went like you do, like ugly eating, because I got a bit emotional while I was eating. I'm stupid. Anyway, so that's that. That's the end of that one. She's Jedi. So we know that. There you go. Oh, right, there's some names here. Look. Is that old woman? That old woman might be Nakil. I bet it is. I bet that old woman's Nakil. Mother's played by Janina Gavankar Pavti, who you may know from the game Star Wars Battlefront 2. She played the character in that, whose name I forgot. I can't remember. It's not Jyn Erso, that's her from Rogue One, but it's a similar name, isn't it? She plays that character. Both the voice and she looks like her as well in the game. So she's a Star Wars alumnus, a double one. Right, so we go to the second episode, and this one is called Justice, and it's set probably a couple of decades, 2 or 3 decades before Phantom Menace. And we see a young Count Dooku, beardless, and a very young Qui-Gon Jinn, who I do believe is voiced in this by Liam Neeson. Yes, he is. There he is. Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't know who voices Dooku, does it say? Corey Burton. Obviously, they can't get Christopher Lee in, can they? Of course, he's passed away. But, they recreated Darth Vader, didn't they, with... and Luke Skywalker with that like deep fake voice technology. I don't know what it's called. They could have done that with Dooku, couldn't they? But anyway, whatever. It's a good episode. They're going to this planet, a bit like Phantom Menace. They're going to, resolve a dispute. Apparently, a senator's son has been kidnapped, and they're there to sort that out. And it turns out the senator's, is an arsehole, and is using the planet's resources. As you saw back there, the planet, it's pretty done in. It's been strip mined, I suppose. I think that's the implication. And the senator's doing that, he's giving contracts and stuff to his rich friends, corporate friends, and they're strip mining the planet. And the inhabitants of the planet are getting nothing in return, but he's getting rich and fat. So they think, well, they've got to do something about it. So they kidnap his son. And it turns out his son, there he is actually, he don't mind being kidnapped. He's not having a great time, but he understands why they've done it, because he doesn't agree with what his dad's doing. But anyway, his dad turns up. I'm sure he's got a name. It'll say it in the episode. Does it say Senator? Does it say? No, it doesn't say there, does it? Doesn't say there. There's some other names down here, but I don't know who the bloody hell they are. There's Terra Cenubis, Tin. I don't know. Appear in they're in non-speaking cameos. So we see them, but no, it doesn't say the name of the senator. But it says in the episode, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, he appears with some soldiers, obviously his own soldiers. This is obviously in the days of the Republic. Remember, there's no Republic army yet, no clone troopers. So he's got his own soldiers. There he is. It's very no, what's that game? Oh, I can't remember the name. Never mind. You know what I'm like. It reminds me of that game. What is it now? Dishonored. It's very Dishonored, isn't it? That game, Dishonored. Very in that style. Anyway, Dooku suspects, that something is amiss, and it is this is his turning, a slight turning to the dark side. This is probably the first time he uses dark side powers, because the senator, he won't listen to reason, so he orders his troops to open fire. So they end up with a bit of a fight. There we go. And hang on, I've gone too far already, haven't I? There's a bit of a fight, and he pushes Qui-Gon back, because after the fight concludes and people are injured and dead, and Dooku Force grabs the senator, like Darth Vader does with Admiral Mott. He does that, and starts choking him, and Qui-Gon tries to stop him, but he pushes him back with the Force. So Qui-Gon goes into the barn where they're holding the senator's son and frees him and says, "Go out and save your dad." So he goes out and saves his dad. So then it promises, to stop what his dad's doing and all that, and it kind of has a happy ending. We don't see how it turns out, but we assume that the senator, he's probably his career's ruined, and I think his son's gonna take over. There he is, look. And the Jedi go away, and that's the end of that. Another, more like medieval scenery in a high-tech world. But I suppose everywhere can't be like Coruscant, can it? So that's the end of that one. So the people are, they have to recover, and the Jedi have resolved it. But we see the first turnings of Dooku to the dark side. Do we get a list of characters? There we go. Who we got then? Senator Dagonet. There we go. Mark Rolston, who you may know from Aliens. He played Drake in Aliens. There you go. And it was that one Michael Richardson as Qui-Gon Jinn, as the young Qui-Gon Jinn. But we see an older one later. Right, the next episode, we get 3 Dooku episodes in a row, by the way, and they are the best ones in my opinion. The next episode starts in a similar manner. Dooku and this time Mace Windu are on the way to a planet to resolve a dispute. There they are. And they're like of equal rank-ish, both masters. Neither of them are on the council, but we find out later on. We find out that Mace Windu he gets appointed to the council at the end of this episode because they've gone to save, apparently, a Jedi master has been killed. I can't remember which one it is. Does it say? Doesn't say. I can't remember. But a Jedi master has been killed on this planet, so they're going to retrieve the body, and that's all the orders they've got, to retrieve the body. But Dooku wants to know what's happened, so he This is obviously, poetry, it rhymes, similar to Anakin. They're supposed to be just protecting, in Attack of the Clones, supposed to be just protecting Padme, but he needs to work out. He needs to go beyond his orders from the council, and that's what Dooku wants to do here. So there we go, that's the episode Choices, it's called. And it says more turning to the dark side by Dooku. Anyway, they go to this planet, and there's another senator. They're a dodgy lot of these senators, aren't they? So they go to this planet, and they find that, they were an ambush. They were going to talk to some separatists or whatever. This is kind of the birth of the separatist cause. You get the impression that this is the early days of that. People are falling out with the Republic. And he's gone to do some talks with the Jedi in tow with these separatists. And he says it were an ambush, and she were killed, and he barely escaped with his life. And so they're going out to the place where it happened. And it turns out they do a bit of CSI Jedi here, and they see all the blast points and stuff. And they find out that all the blasting came from the direction of the ship. There must be only one landing place for ships in this clearing. So, from the direction of the ship. So anyway, it turns out it were the guards that killed her, and the guards kill the senator because he's going to blab, and they just kill him. And then they open fire. Obviously, the Jedi can't make short work of these guards. And it turns out, it's the birth of the separatist cause, sort of. And Dooku agrees with them. This chap gets put into a cell, and Dooku's telling him at the end that he doesn't agree with how he went about, it, but he does agree with his principles, and agrees that the Jedi are accused of being lapdogs of the Senate, and which is true to us from a certain point of view. So he agrees with that. So we see that as well as turning to the dark side, he's also beginning to appreciate the separatist cause, because obviously becomes a leader in the separatist movement later. And then anyway, they take the Jedi Master's body away, bring it back to Coruscant, and then we find out that Windu has been appointed to the council, and Dooku's not happy about that either. And that's about that, really. We see the funeral of the Jedi. He's looking sad, and he's thinking about leaving the Order here. You can tell he's not happy with it, but it doesn't happen just yet. This is obviously quite a few years before Phantom Menace. See if we can get a cast list up. See if there's any interesting names on. There we go. Any interesting names on? No, don't know any of them. Sorry, but we get Corey Burton as Dooku again. It does a decent impression of Christopher Lee, I suppose. Next up is the final Dooku tale, The Sith Lord, and this is really, really good. Is this one? This is my favourite one of the season. Now we see Dooku. It's set during and after the Phantom Menace. So we learn that Qui-Gon Jinn has encountered a Sith Lord on Tatooine. This is where Dooku finds out about it from the librarian woman. I can't remember her name. So here we go. There's a grown-up Qui-Gon. I think maybe voiced by Liam Neeson. We'll see at the end. So he's certain that this attacker, obviously it was Darth Maul on Tatooine, but he's certain he was a Sith, not just some acolyte or some dark force user, dark side user. He thinks he was a genuine Sith, and there's we see Yaddle. Yay, we see Yaddle. We hear her speak and everything, and see her fight, and we find out what happened to her. And so this is where we learn about that, and then it cuts to the events after Phantom Menace. Yaddle I think Yaddle has a few looks you can sense. I think she can sense the darkness growing in Dooku. There we go. It's the episode title, The Sith Lord. And then we cut to sometime later, and Qui-Gon's being killed by Darth Maul. Obviously, Obi-Wan then killed Darth. Well, thought he killed Darth Maul, but he didn't. Anyway, Dooku's standing by this tree, presumably in the the grounds of the Jedi Temple. There's Yaddle. Obviously, he's lost. Remember, Qui-Gon were his Padawan, so he's obviously upset. He's lost his Padawan, his former Padawan. And I think Yaddle can sense the darkness. They're looking at this tree. Is it a Force tree? I don't know. They introduced them, didn't they, with that Force Awakens and all that. That Force trees, didn't they, and stuff. But I think they had them in Rebels and stuff as well, didn't they? But anyway. So Dooku is going to go and consult with somebody. We shall see in a moment. By the way, by this time now, his proper dark side now. Yaddle follows him. He heads into the old industrial part of Coruscant that we saw in Revenge of the Sith. Or Attack of the Clones. Whatever. At the end of Attack of the Clones, wasn't it? We see that. And he's obviously going to meet Darth Sidious, who obviously we don't know that yet that's Palpatine, but he's going to meet him. Yaddle's following. There he is meeting him. And he's not happy about what happened. He didn't expect to, he says, I've lost a Padawan. And actually Sidious says, well, I lost an apprentice. It's obviously Maul, but essentially killed, wasn't he? So they've both lost a pupil. But, they've got to stay the course. But anyway, Yaddle comes in and interrupts their speaking. There we are. And so they have a fight. She pleads with Dooku to, come back to the light side, but, he doesn't. Basically, he just doesn't want to. He doesn't seem super conflicted, to be honest. He seems obviously he's not happy about being a dark force user, dark side user, and acting against the Jedi. He's not happy about it, but he thinks it's something that's got to be done. For the future of the galaxy, he's become disillusioned with the Jedi. So they end up fighting, as you can see. And we think that Yaddle gets splattered by the big doors, them big doors that we see in a minute. I've gone too far. Hang on. Yes, I think I've gone too far. Or I might have not gone far enough. Anyway, it brings the door. There we go. Goes into the doors there, and I think Sidious brings the doors down onto her. Hang on. There we go. Go back a little bit further. He's brought the doors down onto her. She was on there, and we think, oh, she's been squished. But it turns out she hasn't, and she opens the doors up again using the Force. But it's obviously weakened her. There we are. Look, oh, dramatic. Look, oh! And but obviously she's in a weakened state, and she pleads with him, to come back with her. But Sidious in the background, basically going, "Do it," and all that. And Sidious kills Yaddle. So there you go. We found out what happened with Yaddle in canon. She was killed by Sidious. No, Dooku kills Yaddle. And obviously this is where he becomes Darth Tyrannus. It doesn't say it in the episode, but so that's what happens. And he kills. There we go. He's happy. All this proceeding as I have foreseen it. And that's it. That's the end of that one. Let's look at the cast list. There we go. Yes, it was Liam Neeson, look, as Qui-Gon Jinn. Very good. Ian McDiarmid returned as Darth Sidious. I had Jocasta New. That was the the librarian lady. And Bryce Dallas Howard played Yaddle, which I didn't realise until I've just seen it now. So there you go. I like Bryce Dallas Howard. I think she's kind of hot. I do. Thing about redheads. Right, so we're back. That's it for the Dooku arc. So he's finally, he's gone full dark side. That's how we see it. That's probably where. But after that, after the cameras stopped rolling, Sidious said, "You should be known henceforth as Darth Tyrannus." And he went, "Yes, my master," but in a Christopher Lee voice. Right, next up, we're on this practice. Practice makes perfect. We're back on with Ahsoka, and she's been trained by Anakin during the time of the Clone Wars, obviously. And we see he's training her to be able to defend herself against, a full, what they call it, multi-vector attack by clone troopers. And she says, "Well, I'm not going to be attacked by clone troopers. What are you talking about?" Obviously, that's a bit prescient, isn't it? We know that she is. Anyway, it covers several years. She starts out as young. You can see her Leku, or whatever they're called, grow over the course of the episode. And she keeps practicing against the clone troopers, because Anakin doesn't agree with the way that they're traditionally taught, these Padawans. We saw it earlier on. And Anakin's got his own way of teaching her. So he gets his troop of clone troopers, and there we go, practice makes perfect, to shoot at her, obviously with stun bolts. And she's got to defend from all sides, and obviously she keeps getting stunned. And first time she's knocked out for an hour. Obviously it gets less and less as she gets used to it. But she keeps practicing over the years, and we see the trooper armour change. Here we go, this is the Type 1 clone troopers with the little wings on the helmets and stuff. And as time goes on, the armour changes, her Leku grow longer. She gets older, but she keeps practicing. She must set aside a certain length of time each day to do this with the clone troopers. And it all comes good in the end. She keeps getting knocked down, she keeps getting up again. Tub thumping. He gets knocked down, but she gets up again. That one. But she keeps at it, and it all pays off in the end. There she is, deflecting a stun bolt. There she's getting older. That Rex, I think that was Rex helping her up there. And then it goes then to the time of season 7 of Clone Wars. Order 66, Rex is going in with her, she's pretending to be his prisoner. And Rex says, "Let's see if all that training paid off." And she goes in, look, there's all the clone troopers obeying Order 66. And then we saw what happened, didn't we? She defended herself. And there we go. So that's that. Let's check the voices for this one. So we had Ashley Eckstein as expected, Matt Lanter as Anakin. All the old ones come back from the Clone Wars. So there you go. So that was that one. And then the final episode is called Resolve, and it's set after the death of Padme. So it's after Revenge of the Sith. We see Padme's funeral, and there's Bail Organa and Mon Mothma. Bail sees a figure in the crowd, moving through the crowd, and it's Ahsoka. Remember, at this point, she'd left the Jedi Order. For a few years, actually. I think she'd left the Jedi Order, well, maybe for a few years, before, the Clone Wars ended, didn't she? I do believe. Anyway, he sees her and he follows her, and says, "You shouldn't have come." And she said, "She was my friend." Was she? I didn't. Maybe in Clone Wars, they did have a friendship. I never noticed it, to be honest, but I'll take their word for it. But they get interrupted. She disappears then. Some couple of clone troopers appear. Remember, these are now baddie clone troopers. Remember, it's the Empire now, and he mentions imperial orders. So it's been the Empire for about half an hour. And already it's flexing its imperial muscles. They tell him that he shouldn't be there, and Ahsoka's disappeared. She's hiding up there, and then anyway she goes back to her ship, and then we cut to sometime in the future. Don't know how long it is. She's there goes. She meets with Rex, and they get on this Y-wing, and they fly away. And then it cuts to sometime in the future. She's on a planet with a crappy landscape. That is terrible, isn't it? It looks like, what was that old programme that were out in the late 90s, early 2000s? Bryce 3D, I think it was called. It could make landscapes. It looks like something done in that, doesn't it? It looks terrible. Oh dear. Anyway, she's not a Jedi. Obviously, she's not a Jedi, but she's in hiding. She's working on this agricultural planet. There she is. Obviously, she's got no lightsabers. She buried them, didn't she? I think on somewhere in Clone Wars season 7. I can't remember where it was now, but she buried her lightsabers, didn't she? Anyway, all these bales are about to fall on somebody, and she saves them with the Force. And she gets dobbed in by, a little shit, basically. And an Inquisitor comes. So obviously, they know that she's a former Jedi. And then an Inquisitor comes and burns down the village, as we see in a minute. She's saying she's got to leave, and anyway, she goes back to the village, and it's behind it burning, and this Inquisitor's there. He's got prisoners. I assume he's probably killed people. Don't know, but he's a cool-looking Inquisitor. People are saying he's the 6th brother, but I don't know. It just says Inquisitor in the cast list. I've looked it up. There he is. I must admit, it is a really good look, is that, innit? It looks terrifying. It looks like something from, Knights of the Old Republic sort of thing, doesn't it? The old days of the Sith. I was thinking, is this an old Sith that's come back? But it's just an Inquisitor, because we see he's got an Inquisitor lightsaber. But I don't know which one he is. Some people have said he's the 6th Inquisitor, but I think the book that the 6th Inquisitor is first appears in, the author of that book kind of says that no, it's not him. Plus, it doesn't look much like him anyway. But the scenario that we find ourselves in is similar to what happens in this book. Anyway, so he's there. He's got these people prisoner. This is the freak that dobbed Ahsoka in. But he's going to pay for it with his life. But Ahsoka comes and says, "It's me you want." So maybe there you go. Look at that hand. It's scary, isn't it? There's some cool shots, isn't there, in this? Anyway, it goes to kill her. Remember, she ain't got any lightsabers because she put them away. So it goes to fight her. He activates both his blades on his lightsaber. There you go. But she dodges, grabs hold of his lightsaber, takes it off him, boots him, takes it off him. Bzing! There we go. Dead. She made short work of that Inquisitor, didn't he? And he looked ace. You'd think he'd put a bit more of a fight than that. But that's it. He says he's sorry. Yeah. Yeah, sorry now, aren't you, dickhead? But anyway, she calls somebody, and we see the Tantive, I presume it's the Tantive 4, that arrives with Bail Organa on, and these people who are now refugees. They go with him. In the last episode, he'd given her a communicator thing and said, "Call me if you need me." And so she did. So she gives him it back. Don't know why she gives him it back, but she does. And then she agrees, basically, to become part of, the burgeoning rebellion. And this is when she becomes Fulcrum. She's known as Fulcrum in Star Wars Rebels, isn't she? And that's that. We're all up to date. There we go, the end, David Filoni. Very well done. Let's have a look at the cast list. By the way, score by Kevin Kiner, really, really good. A bit Blade Runner-y in the Coruscant episode, the Sith Lord. That reminded me of Blade Runner a bit in that. There we go. So we've got Ashley Eckstein, and we had Clancy Brown as the Inquisitor, and some other. D. Bradley Baker, obviously he did the clone voices, didn't he? But there you go. Phil Lamar, that name rings a bell. Did he do The Simpsons? Anyway, he does Bail Organa, so it's not Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa. But anyway, and that's it. That's the end. That's the last. That's just 6 episodes. I hope they do, another season of something, similar. Another Tales of the Jedi, and maybe a Tales of the Sith, and we see it from Sidious's point of view and Maul's point of view. That'd be good. That'd be really good. Anyway, so really good. I really enjoyed those 6 episodes. Particularly the Dooku ones, I thought they were excellent. I quite enjoyed the last 2 Ahsoka ones. The first one, neither here nor there, was it? They just wanted an Ahsoka bookend, didn't they? That's what they wanted. But as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I thought that were really good. The best Star Wars I've seen on Disney Plus for ages, and that's including Andor, which I quite like, and even The Mandalorian. So there you go. Really good. Really enjoyed it. I'd give it as a whole of the series, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Because that first episode was a bit iffy. If it were just 5 episodes without that first one, it'd have got a 10 for me. But that first one was a bit. There you go. Very good. Really enjoyed it. So we'll leave it there. I hope there's another season or something similar. Tales of the Sith, Tales of something else, Tales of the Rebellion, Tales of the Alliance, I don't know, Tales of the Separatists. They could do anything, couldn't they? It's a big galaxy, but we'll see. So we'll leave it there. Wherever you are in the galaxy, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.